Okay, I cleaned up all up here, and now let's go ahead and go down to the last shelf, which is my most, the least loved shelf, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and explain why. So that box you see over here is filled with volumes that I do not like, I wish to sell, I have no interest in, etc, etc. So that's a box filled with manga that I've been meaning to, you know, get rid of. Over here is this I haven't read. I got it as like a blind manga from the Right Stuff. I don't know what's it about. It's weird looking, so I don't think we're gonna look in this box. So I ended up getting the box out because I'm sure some people might be a little curious. And here are some things that are in the box. Oh, here's the Old Boy series that I was talking about. I haven't read it yet. It's still sealed up. I've been wanting to sell it, but no one really wants it, so I'm gonna cry myself. But Old Boy, from what I remember, I haven't read it, but it's about a guy who gets out of jail and is trying to live his life again as a normal human, like as like a civilian, but some things like get in the way or something. Here we have Full Metal Panic Overload. Have not read this either, but it's I guess a knockoff or a spin-off from the original series or something. It's like chibi form. Here we have Dengeki Daisy Volume 9. It is just a repeat that I have, and I have been meaning to resell it. Here we have I Married My Best Friend to Shut My Parents Up. I bought this and I read it. It was really, really good. I just wish it was a little longer. It was cute, but I don't know. I might keep it in my collection because it was a cute story. But it's essentially about these friends. One of the friends keeps getting pestered by her parents to get married, and her best friend is like, why don't you just tell them that we're married? That way they can shut up. And that's what she does. So they move in together and they, you know, have to act married, but then they eventually fall for each other. And it's a one-shot story, and it's pretty cute. It gets a little saucy at the end, but yeah, I just wish it was a little longer. So actually I might keep this. I actually really enjoyed it. This is, oh my god, what's it called? Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Oh my god, this, I have the first 2 volumes. I can't remember, there's probably more, but these 2 volumes were like the very first volumes of manga I ever got. This and the Yatsuba volume. Like, I got these at the book fair and I was like, holy crap, that's anime, that's manga, and I can buy it, and I bought it. Like, I bought anything that was manga and I was so excited. I like asked for it for my birthday and my friends got it for me. Holy shit, it was crazy. And I've reread these so many times. It's a part of the Kingdom Hearts story. It's a little hard to explain. It's a video game, it's part of the Disney, you know, franchise. And it was good. I really liked it, and it was really cute. Have been meaning to play the games. I think I have all the games now. I just haven't had the time to play them. But that's Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, and very nostalgic. I will never get rid of these because they just mean a lot to me. Here we have a dupe. So Full Metal Panic 2. I have to sell this. This, I have no idea what it is. I don't know what the story is. It's called Forbidden Scrollery. Seems like some magical fantasy story. Haven't read it. I'll read it someday, but definitely not my priority. Got it in a like lot. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what else I have. I'm gonna move these things out of the way. Okay, so here we have a lot of volumes that I've been meaning to sell, or, you know, I just don't really have much of an interest to. Yes, Naruto is there. Your eyes do not deceive you. Again, if you don't know Naruto, it's like a ninja story. I know there's more to it. I tried watching it. It was cute and it was funny. I just can't commit to the ridiculous amount of episodes. Which is why One Piece is really testing my limits, because I love pirates and One Piece looks fun. Yeah, Naruto here, the first 3 volumes. I have Danganronpa 2. I'll explain a little more about this later, but this is a dupe. This is the first volume. Berserk, I'm not selling this. I just didn't know where else to put it because it's really short and it doesn't look good with my other volumes, but I really want to get the actual, like, nice big volumes, the big chunky ones, because they are so good. I've read a lot of Berserk. It's amazing. It's a very like, it's a hero story, I guess. This guy, he's like crazy strong, and he has this very masculine, very tough exterior to him, but he's incredibly traumatized. Like this, goddamn, like I need to get therapy after every chapter that I read from this story. Very action-packed, fantasy, almost medievally sort of action stories. It's really, really good. I would be terrible to explain it because I have yet to really read the whole story, but I only have the first volume. Very good. I liked it a lot. Over here we have Kuma Miko. Have not read this. I think there's an anime adaptation for it. It looks like it's in the more historical time. Girl makes friends with the bear guy, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I have not read it. Marginal Operation. I've actually had some curiosity to read this. Don't know what's it about. All I know is that like all the things that are in here are like from real life news that's happened. So it's almost like a documentation through like illustrations in this made up story of all these bad news that have happened throughout the past. I can't remember. I read like a little bit of it and I couldn't remember anymore, but it looked pretty good, so I might read it but not collect the rest. Magical Girl Spec Ops. This is the first volume. I actually read it, and this is if magical girls entered the military. It's really intense, action-packed, and very dramatic. It's pretty good, but not really my, kind of thing to read all the time. So it was a nice read for the first volume. I don't know if I'll sell it or if I'll keep it. I might keep it just because it's something that no one else probably has. But it's pretty good. I liked it, just not something I would continue collecting. So we did this part. Then we have here Captive Hearts, a shoujo beat series, so romance. I don't really know much about it. All I know is that I think he's like her captive or something. I don't know. It really doesn't pique my interest. Has kind of a sus story, but I might read it just once just so I can have my money's worth, but that's Captive Hearts. Alrighty, over here we have Some Days Dreamers. This is the first volume. I have not read this. I don't really have an interest to read this. I got this in a manga lot. It smells like a freaking 60-year-old smoker. It's so bad. I didn't know that the seller smoked a lot, or their household smoked a lot, but god damn, this stank. So I kind of don't want to read it just because of that only reason, but it's some sort of magical girl, I guess, in the regular modern day or something. I can't really remember, but that's that. That's Some Days Summers, or Some Days Dreamers. Over here we have Fairy Navigator Runa. This is volume 2. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about this. I got this with the manga lot, and I don't have any desire to read it. I'm probably just gonna throw this into another manga lot and hope that someone else can buy it, and then maybe they can resell it, or maybe they do like the series. But yeah, don't know anything about that. Moon Phase, this is volume 2 or 3? This is volume 2. I bought this one in person in like a secondhand stand or whatever at like the mall or something. And don't really know anything about it. I really don't know anything about it. I think it's cat girl magic. I don't know. That's pretty much all I really have about it, and I don't have the first volume, nor do I have much of any intentions to collect the rest. Over here we have XXX Holic. I fucking love XXX Holic, created by Clamp, the same creators of Chobits. I love it. Or I think it's, no, yeah, XXX Holic. It's so good. It is so good. I know, any other person I've talked to, they haven't read it and or seen the anime. The anime, okay, I'll be honest, the art style is kind of whack. They look like Slender Men. Like, it's pretty weird. but it's so good. It's about this guy who he has this curse where he can see and smell spirits. Spirits stink. He hates them. He hates the curse. They just bother him. They don't like haunt him. They don't like terrorize him. He just sees them and it just freaks him out and he doesn't like it. He stumbles upon this shop, which is her shop, and she's a witch. She's a witch and she's like, hey, I can grant you a gift of curing your curse so you never have to see those ugly ass stinky ghosts or whatever spirits. If you work for me for a while and pay your debt. And he's like, you know what, you got a deal. So he works at the shop for her and she gets clients who need spiritual help without them really realizing they need it. And it's really interesting. It's really cool and it's so good. The opening for the anime is another banger. I love it. And it's so good. Literally, I cannot express enough how amazing this story is, and I'm so excited to read the rest of the manga. I read the first 3 volumes and I have an omnibus of it up in another area, which I will show later. That's why I'm selling this single volume, because I have the omnibus of it. So yeah, that's that. Train Man. Train Man is the most regretted. I hate it. I got this thinking it was a manga, because this guy was like, hi, I'm selling manga, and he showed his little like bookshelf, and he's like, pick out which one you want, $3.33 each one. And I was like, fuck yeah, $3.33, sign me up. Does that look like manga to you? I didn't know what the fuck this was when I got it, so I was like, hell no, what did I just buy? My fucking mistake for not looking it up. And I even think I did look it up. I swear to God I did, but then I'm just dumb and I didn't look into it more. So I don't know what that is. That's not even manga. Here we have The Stellar Six. Have not read this one either, but I think it's like a fishing story, fishing manga. Pretty cool. Looks kind of fun, so I'm excited to read that. So that's pretty much everything that's in the box. It's a compilation of things that I'm gonna sell, things that I don't really have an interest in, or things that are not, you know, big titled labeled thing, and I really don't know where else to fit it, so that's the box. So over here in front we have Yatsuba. I have 2 volumes of Yatsuba. I have not read this one, but I have read this one a million times. This one is something I got back in like the book fair at my school a long time ago, and this I got with a manga lot. I'm actually pretty excited to read it because this is the first one. This is like the 3rd volume or the 9th volume, I can't remember. So I'm excited to read the 1st volume after all these years. Over here we have 3 volumes of Pokemon Adventures. I've been really wanting to read this, and I don't know why. I was so excited to read it and I just haven't gotten around to reading it. I am not the biggest Pokemon fan. I played Pokemon Diamond, but I didn't finish it. And I haven't collected any of the Pokemon cards. Pokemon was not really big in my childhood. I watched a little bit of the anime before, but nothing crazy. But when I heard about this, I thought it was really cool. I heard that the Pokemon's like lives are at risk more than they do in the anime, so I thought that was pretty sick. And so yeah, I'm excited to read this. I don't know why I can't get around to doing it, so maybe I'll read it one of these days. But yeah, that's Pokemon Adventures. I have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and next up I have Kaiji. The full name is Gambling Apocalypse Kaiji. I've read the 1st and 2nd volumes, and I don't know, it's so... Look, I love the whole concept of it. It's really cool. So the whole premise of Kaiji is that this guy over here, he's, you know, he's under a lot of debts and he's, you know, struggling with money. He is kind of labeled as like this like loser, that, you know, he doesn't really do anything with his life or whatnot. And he encounters this opportunity, which is kind of forced upon him, where he gets to embark on this ship that will have him be playing games. And if he's one of the winners, there's multiple winners, but if he is one of many winners, then all his debts will be repaid and he will also be rewarded with some money. and that's what he needs. He's like, oh, I want to do something with my life and this might be it. So he gets on board and he does it. And it's this pretty much like rock, paper, scissors card game. It's pretty interesting, but so that's like the whole premise of it, right? It's like Kakegurui, it's a gambling game, right? There's risks, there's strategies that are being played, people betray one another, there's trust and all these sorts of things that like factors that play in. And you know, he goes through a lot of ups and downs throughout the stories. That's pretty good. I just feel like there were so many scenes that were elongated a little too much and repeated in different ways. Like, for example, like Kaiji played a really bad game. Kaiji should have done this because he played a really bad game. Or he, like, lost the game. Like, I don't know, they just, like, it's so weird to explain, but it just, like, scenes will just be repeated in different words a lot, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. So it took me a bit to get through the first 2 volumes. And after the end of volume 2, it feels like the whole story ends. And honestly, I'm stopping it there. I'm not reading anymore. I think there is more to come, but honestly, volume 2 has a pretty good stopping point. So that's where I'm stopping. But yeah, this was an alright story. It was okay, but I did really enjoy a lot of parts, and the art style was also really cool. Okay, and over here I have, I believe, Yawamushi Pedal. Really hard to pronounce. Yawamushi Pedal. I have the first volume. I've heard good things about this. This is pretty much just a cycling racing manga story. I know it has an anime, but I have not seen it. Yeah, I haven't read it, so I heard it's good though, but that's pretty much all I got to say. It came with like a manga lot that I got, so I should read it sometime soon. But yeah, that's Yawamushi Pedal. Alright, I moved some volumes out of the way here, and here is my little collection of Full Metal Panic volumes. I have volumes 1 through 7, I believe there are 9 in total. I have not read it yet. I feel like this is the series that I regrettably collected. I loved Full Metal Panic as a kid. I loved it. I was obsessed with it, the anime. And so when I saw that there was manga for it, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. And this was early in my like collecting, and I had bad habits of just picking up stuff because, oh, I watched the anime, so I'm gonna pick up the manga. Not realizing that I actually don't have much of a craving to read it. Like, if I'm gonna consume Full Metal Panic, I might consume the anime instead of the manga. So it's one of those things. I've been learning a lot of things about collecting and, you know, what's it called, impromptu like purchasing and regretting things. So this is kind of one of them. But yeah, that's Full Metal Panic. This is what it looks like. Really good story. Have not read it yet, but from the anime and from what I remember, it's a action comedic story about this guy who's like on a secret mission, and he joins this high school and he pairs up with her, and they kind of like, she gets involved in this like government, I don't even know how to explain it, like government like mission thingy. I really can't remember actually the story. It's been a while since I've consumed it, but it's good. There's some military stuff involved. I can't remember too much about it, but it was good. It was comedic and she was funny, and they had I think I remember them having a thing going on. Either I remember that, or as a kid I literally just shipped anything that blinked at each other, so you know, that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and move this away and then show you my One Piece collection. Okay, so here I have volumes 1 through 21 of One Piece, and a single volume of volume 71 of One Piece in Spanish. I just got it because I really like the cover, so yeah, but these are all omnibus. I have read only the first book of One Piece so far. I have much more to read, but I've been really wanting to read it, like binge read it, so I'll do that eventually. But yeah, I got these all for a really good price, so very happy with it. And if you don't know about One Piece is a story of a guy who wants to become like the king of pirates, and he's very weak looking, and that's who you see over here. Yeah, that's pretty much the premise of the story, and he tries to collect or not collect, gather crewmates for his ship and stuff like that. So I haven't gotten too far into the story, but that's all I really know about it. Very excited. I heard it's one of the best anime manga stories that there is. So yeah, I'm hyped, and I love pirates, and Luffy is adorable and so funny. So yeah, that's One Piece, and that finally finishes the third shelf and the entire bookshelf. All right, so I cleaned up this whole third shelf, and that makes it done. So we're finally done with the whole bookshelf that I have of manga, but that's not over yet. I have more on the left here and on the right. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the left side of my collection and look at what I have over here. Okay, so over here I have a small little display of volumes that I have nowhere else to put, so I just put it over here, along with my little tiny little chi figure from Chobits. Over here on the bottom I have my more autobiographical books. This contains all my little collection of Nagata Kabi, another author that I absolutely adore. This is my lesbian experience with loneliness. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it out really quickly. So this is my lesbian experience with loneliness, and this is again an autobiographical manga about the author and their experience with loneliness and sexuality. They also go over so many other things, such as what to do with their lives, moving out, what's it like, you know, living on their own, a little bit of alcoholism, and a lot of other stuff. So big trigger warnings over here. There's a lot of depression and mental illness discussed over here. And yeah, so it's really wonderful. Sorry, that sounds really fucked. But it's a very real story. It's a very real manga, and I really enjoyed it. I read this for college, actually. Everything's in like pink and gray. It's really good. It's a little comedic in the way that they illustrate it, but it's just so good. They talk about sexuality, identities, like gender, everything. They just go over a lot of stuff, and it's really good. I love my lesbian experience with loneliness, and Nagata Kabi does a great job illustrating their story and just being real. So that's that. And then next up we have My Soul Exchange Diary, which is an sort of continuation of my lesbian experience with loneliness. I'm gonna go ahead and pop out the first one. So we have this here, and it's just so good. I really couldn't, again, it's sort of like a continuation on just like what to do with their lives, and you know, careers and artworks, and finding a job and leaving a job, and so much more. It's just a lot. It's good. I really like it. So that's pretty much my lesbian experience with loneliness and My Soul Exchange Diaries 1 and 2. That completes that. And then over here we have My Wandering Warrior Existence, which I just recently read. This is also by Nagata Kabi, and this is an autobiographical story of them kind of looking into dating, so their experiences and their thoughts on dating, the dating world, what's it like to love someone rather than love someone as just a friend, marriage, and all these sorts of things. And it was really good. It was quick. It's pretty short, but it was good, and I think there was a lot of hard-hitting moments in this as well, regarding dating, because dating can be really confusing, especially with how our society runs it and tries to explain it. And then lastly we have My Alcoholic Escape from Reality. I have not read this one yet, but I am hoping to read this soon. This is an autobiographical story of the author dealing with alcoholism, and it's I can already feel it's gonna hit hard. It's gonna be pretty deep, so I'm excited to read it, but I haven't read it yet. So that's my little collection of Nagata Kabi's works, and that goes on the shelf down here. Okay, and here we have my Dress Up Darling collection. I have volumes 1 through 5. You don't see 3 here because 3 is up here. I have mixed feelings about my Dress Up Darling. I understand the controversies of it, And volumes 1 and 2 were fairly fine with me. Yeah, there was a couple things that were really sus, but volume 3 really pushed my limits. So I'll probably be reselling volume 3. I'm currently on 4, and I'm gonna see how it goes and if I feel good enough about continuing to buy the volumes or not. But okay, the story itself is really good. The story, if you haven't heard about My Dress Up Darling, let me go ahead and pull out actually the first volume so you can see. But the first volume goes over our main character, who is not her actually. Our main character is this guy over here. He lives at He lives with his grandpa, who taught him about the beauty of hina doll making. There are these little dolls, I believe, that they will put out when a child is born or something. I can't remember. Anyways, these dolls, right, these traditional dolls, and they make them themselves. So they paint it, they make the clothing, they put in the hair and all that. And he completely fell in love with the creation of it. And he, since he was a young kid, wanted to become a professional at it. No one else really has that in common in his like age. Everyone's more into video games or manga or, you know, makeup or like, you know, whatever. He just wants to be like a hina doll maker, until he kind of meets this girl here, who is super into cosplaying. She's a big nerd, like big weeb. She loves anime and like manga and cosplaying, and so they kind of find themselves at a middle point where he really wants to make clothes and make hina dolls, and in doing so he has to make the clothes for the dolls, and she finds out that he can do that, and so she's like, how about you help me make some cosplays? So he helps her make her first cosplay, and that's kind of the premise of the first 2 volumes. And so more people find out about his, you know, art in creating cosplays and outfits, and so that's kind of what happens, and there's a little bit of chemistry happening between the two. And it does have parental advisory on it. There's some naughty bits, very much naughty bits, inappropriate things that are referred to, and scenes that are, you know, shown. There is nudity in the 3rd volume, which is what makes me very, very uncomfortable. So I'm not going to go through the whole controversy right now of it, but I do really, really enjoy the story, and the 2 main characters I absolutely adore. If you have read the story, I am not a fan of the other 2 characters because of the fact of, you know, I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfy. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. But yeah, that is My Dress Up Darling. I've read the first 3 volumes, and I'm on the 4th one right now. So I'll be reading this soon and hopefully finishing up what I have so far and seeing later on if I'm going to continue collecting it. But yeah, that is My Dress Up Darling. Alright, over here we have my small little display of romance manga. We have The Young Man Master's Revenge. I cannot remember what this is about. I just remember this guy is trying to become like a what's it called, a butler or something for this one girl, but he's only doing it so he can like ruin her life because she ruined his or whatever. If Which Then Which, I only have 1 volume and I've read it. It's pretty good. I have to reread it soon. If Which Then Which I have also read. This is about a boy who is neighbors with this girl who happens to be a witch. He doesn't know it. And he finds out somehow, and she has to get into this witch academy, but in doing so she needs help, and he tends to trigger her powers, so he goes to the testing thing with her, and he has to dress up like a girl in order to help her, like be there to help her trigger her powers. So when her powers are triggered, somehow like the school like, oh yes, of course, then you two are both passing. So he ends up becoming enrolled in this all-girls witch academy. Then we have Behind the Scenes. It was good. I liked it. It was funny. It was cute, and I'd actually be willing to read more of it. But yeah, so that's volume 1. Behind the Scenes is by the same creators of Ouran High School Host Club. I have not read it. It looks pretty good though, but yeah. Aroha Ride, or Blue Spring Ride. I have volume 1, I have read it, and I've watched the anime. It's very good. It's a romantic it's like a romantic drama, a little bit of comedy in it. Oh my god, I love the boy in there. And it's about a girl who hasn't seen this guy in a really, really long time. She saw him in like middle school or whatever, and now fast forward to high school, she didn't see him for a while because he transferred out. He transferred into the same school that she is, and she wants to know if he's like the same boy that she knew back in middle school. Hatsuharu, I only have the first volume, and this is a romantic comedy about a girl who is very much not like the other girls. We have, I think, like a player boy who like can literally win over anyone's heart except this one girl. Very cheesy, you know, but yeah, that's that. It was really good. I remember actually really liking it, so I'd love to collect more of it. Next up we have Skip Beat Volume 1. I only have the first volume, but I have watched the anime and it is very good. Skip Beat is about a girl who, I guess, I can't remember too much about it, but she seems to like help her boyfriend become like a pop star or something, but he breaks her heart completely, and she's like, well, you know, fuck you or whatever, I'm gonna become a pop star then, if it's, you know, if you're starting to like, you know, kiss your ass a little, you know, he starts thinking he's like all that or whatever. So her whole thing is to try to become a pop star and become even more famous than him. It's a really long series, but yeah, I'd really like to read it because the anime was really good. Over here on the end we have Hanako-kun, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. This is in Spanish, it's volume 7. I only have this volume. I really want to collect the rest, but I just found this in Mexico and I really want to get it because it looked really cool. This volume's gonna fall. Okay, then we have Toradora. I'm gonna try to slip this out without breaking anything. Toradora, I have the full collection of it. Some of them are in Spanish because it's a little hard to find Toradora volumes for a cheap price. Toradora, if you haven't seen it already, it's a very popular romantic comedy anime as well. It's about this guy who looks really tough and looks almost like a gangster and stuff. He looks really mean and everything, but he's actually pretty soft, and she is someone who's really short and looks really cute, but is actually really mean and has a bad temper. They sort of become friends and they like each other's friends, and so they try to help each other get with their friends, but you know, it's like a high school life, slice of life. You know, there's, oh, I like your friend, you know, this and this and that. But they eventually end up, you know, liking each other, and they have quite the happy ending. So Toradora is very good, and another banger of an opening. So that's my Toradora collection here, and then the last one we have is up here, and this is Secretly I've Been Suffering About Being Sexless. I don't know if this is a autobiographical story. I don't think it is, but from what I've understood, oh, I haven't read Toradora, by the way, I forgot to mention that. But from what I've understood, I have not read this yet, is that it's about a married couple who has kids already, but they don't have sex anymore. And so they're kind of trying to spice up that life again because, you know, they're starting to lose that fun. And so I thought it was really interesting and sort of a taboo topic amongst parents, which I really don't want to think about, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm really very interested in reading this, and hopefully I get to read this soon. But yeah, that is Secretly I've Been Suffering About Being Sexless, and that finishes all the volumes that I have over here in my little display. And yeah, let's go ahead and move over to the right side of my bookshelf where I have the rest of my manga, and then we will be done. I am so tired of talking and my throat hurts. Let's go. Okay, so here is the last part of my collection. This sits on top of like my TV entertainment sort of thing, so it's just a shit ton of manga piled up on here. But let's go ahead and start from the left side up until the end, and that's where, you know, my collection will complete. Okay, so starting with the front over here, we have My Love Story. I have volumes 1 through, I think, 7 it is? Yeah, 1 through 7. I have volumes 1 through 7, and I have, I think, the last volume in here too. I have a couple mixed volumes because a couple volumes are becoming really rare to find, and I'm getting really mad about it. But if you don't know about My Love Story, it's a very sweet and wholesome romantic comedy about a really big macho looking guy who usually can never get the girl getting the girl. And he ends up saving this girl's life. Well, so not her life, but she's getting like sexually harassed on a train, and he stands up for her, and she, you know, is like, wow, he stood up for me, my hero. She falls for him. He can't believe it because he has a really handsome best friend where all the girls are falling for him. But at the end of the day, they end up finding out that they like each other, and they get together fairly quick. So they get this couple, they get together really quickly, and their whole relationship is just kind of explored, and how they are together, dates and boundaries, and, you know, the young dating, and it's so cute, school dating, and I very much like it. I watched the anime, very cute, and I have yet to finish the manga. So yeah, that is that. Now we're gonna go ahead and move to the right here and go to my more treasured area, and this is my small tiny ass Nana collection. I have volumes 1 through 5, and then 11 and 21. That's all I really have. If you don't know Nana, this is by Ayazawa, the same one of Paradise Kiss. And this is about two girls who go on the same train, and they both happen to be named Nana, and they're both going to Tokyo. They are very, very different in people. This Nana over here, she is very bubbly, almost, I hate to say it, but she gives off this very like sort of ditzy, doesn't really know much. God damn, birds. This Nana is very girly, and she really cares about boys and having this very perfect life at the end of being this wife with a daughter, and, you know, having the perfect husband, living in a luxurious life. That's kind of her thing. She loves fashion and girly. She's very girly, right? And then we have goth girl. She's not a goth, but she is a rock star. She is going to Tokyo to be to pursue her music career. She's a part of a small rock band who is trying to make it big. And she smokes cigarettes, she's, you know, edgy, she's punky, she loves, you know, she's everything that this girl isn't, and she's everything that she isn't. And they both happen to move into the same apartment building together, and it's truly just a whole story of female friendship and the support and the hardships of growing up. It's by far one of the most realist stories I have ever encountered, and every time I watch it in my life, because I used to watch it when I was a kid, and every time I watch it I just have a different perspective, because as I'm older now, I see things that, or I've experienced things that they've experienced, and it's just really, really good. And it's, oh my god, so good. It's pure drama with a lot of comedy and a bomb-ass soundtrack. God forbid, this soundtrack, I will stand by it. It's the best soundtrack, like the best anime soundtrack I've ever heard. So good. So yeah, that's Nana. So please, and I just want to throw this out there, you do not have to be a female to watch this, or to have, I guess, women experiences or whatever to watch this. I think it's so good. It does hit a little harder, but yeah, it's good. I really like it. So that's Nana. Over here, we have my small collection of Lovecom volumes. I have very mixed volumes. I have volumes 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 14, and 17. This is an out of print. Oh, Nana is also out of print. Nana and Lovecom are out of print volumes, series, and so it's very hard to come by the full collection. So this is Lovecom, and it's one of my favorite romantic comedy stories out there. I love the anime so much, and I have yet to read the manga. Lovecom is about a girl, which is her. I believe her name is Risa. I kind of forgot the name, but she is really tall. She's like above the average height of female students, and there's this guy whose name is Otani. Whoa, is that his name? I kind of forgot. I think that is, which is over here. And he's he's a short king. He's below the average height of men, and so these two people find each other, and they are trying to, they start off as just like a comedic duo that they hate each other, but then they find out that they have crushes on each other's friends, which, you know, doesn't usually end up well, and then they kind of have some sort of chemistry happen to them. But it's a very difficult relationship because they have this, but he's shorter than me, or but she's taller than me, and these sort of I don't know, these societal norms of like the girl has to be shorter or the guy has to be taller in order for a relationship to look normal and good. So they kind of break that. And when I was a kid, I loved this show because I was so tall when I was a kid. I was taller than all the boys and it was sad. But you know, it's just such a good story. I would super recommend it. It's very funny too. I really love it. So that's Lovecom, and I'm very happy with my little collection, and I can't wait to read it all. As you saw, when I moved my Nana volume, a couple volumes have peeked over. I didn't know where else to put these, so I'm gonna go ahead and introduce them right now. This is Little Miss P, and oh my god, this is one of my favorite manga volumes. I love it so much. Little Miss P is a personification of periods, menstruation, yes ladies. So it's pure comedic. It's short stories of moments of puberty and periods. So the first chapter goes over a woman losing her period, so she's pregnant, and so there's this personification of Miss P, and she's a bitch. She like beats the shit out of women and in a way of like cramps and stuff like that, and it's just so funny and it's so good, and I love reading this. Honestly, there's more volumes to it, so I've been wanting to buy the rest, but it's so good. And there's not just Miss P, there's actually other characters too. There's I don't know if you can see him here. You can sort of see it in the light, but there is a penis called Mr. Libido. There is like a diarrhea monster or something like that. It's really funny. There's a lot of characters. So yeah, that's Little Miss P. Next up, we have I Don't Know How to Give Birth. This is an autobiographical story about the author's experience with getting pregnant, from the beginning of thinking of having a kid to the end of finally giving birth. And it's a really good story. I found myself like, holy shit, I didn't even know that. Like, she goes over, you know, do I really want to be a parent? What's it like to be a parent? She didn't even really want a kid at first. She was doing it more for her husband. And then she went through like the pains and the pregnancies and like the symptoms, and it was just really good. It's the whole story of the author's experience with pregnancy, and I think it was really interesting and also illustrated really comedically and sweet, honestly. So that's I Don't Know How to Give Birth. Next up, we have Sweat and Soap, and honestly, I'm relating with her right now. We have Sweat and Soap here, Volume 1. This is a romantic comedy series about a girl who is really sweaty, and she works at this like fragrance company or whatever, and he is one of the people who are on a team to create the actual smells and of like the soap lines or whatever, and he really likes her scent. He has like a super big fascination of how she smells. And well, next thing you know, it's nothing like inappropriate, but you know, next thing you know, they kind of get a crush on each other, and yeah, and so she helps him with like how to find fragrances, and he's just like smelling her. It's kind of weird, but like it's kind of cute at the same time. I really didn't expect myself to like this story so much. I got it for like the shits and giggles, but turned out actually really loving it. So that's Sweat and Soap. Now that's this part over here. I know I missed a couple of volumes back here, so I'm gonna go ahead and move these out of the way so I can show you the volumes over in the back. Okay, so I have some volumes missing here because someone's borrowing them for the moment, but here I have my full collection of Dengeki Daisy. So we have volumes 1 through I believe 16 of Dengeki Daisy, and this is a romantic comedy. It's a shoujo, and it's gonna sound a little sus, but it's about a girl who lost her brother, and before her brother died, he gave her a phone and said, "In my presence, message the person on this phone called Daisy and message them with all your like help, or if you want to talk to someone, like message them." And so for the longest time she was in contact with this guy named Daisy, and it turns out that this guy named Daisy is actually the custodian at her school, her high school. I don't want to spoil too much, right? But this Daisy is also a hacker because her brother was like really into like hacking as well, or like really like a smart big brain and like technology and stuff. So that's all I'll really say right now, because there's a lot that goes on and I don't want to spoil much. But he protects her at all costs, and he has a really big soft spot for her, and they eventually like each other. I don't know how old he is. She's in high school, so we're not gonna go into that, but you know, it's a good story, okay? I'm on volume like 8 right now, I think, so it's pretty good. I like it, and I can't wait to get to the end of the story. So yeah, that is Dengeki Daisy, and I have the full collection of Dengeki Daisy. There's a couple volumes that are crazy rare to find. So the only one that I have that's sort of a cheat is volume 15, which is a Spanish volume. So hopefully that's okay. Okay, so here we're at the last little stretch of my collection. Finally, my arm's getting so tired. But we're gonna go ahead and start here. Here we have my small little collection of Danganronpa manga. I love Danganronpa, as you see over there and over here. Danganronpa is like my thing. That's the franchise I'm obsessed with. Some people it's Sanrio, some people it's, you know, whatever else, but for me it's Danganronpa. It's just hit me since I liked it as a kid. I don't know. But here I have Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. I really can't explain much because there's big spoilers of everything, but the whole concept of Danganronpa is like sort of Saw. There's a ton of high school students who are put in some sort of area, and they have to get away with murder with one of their classmates in order to escape that, you know, area, whatever that is. In the first game, in the first anime or manga series, it is a high school, and the second game or manga series, it's on an island. So yeah, they just try to escape. You have to get away with murder. There's a whole class trial, and if they don't get away with murder, they have a whole execution dedicated to their specialized skill. Each student is specialized in something. They are the best of the best. So for example, if there's a tennis player, this student will be the best tennis player that there is, and they will die in a sort of tennis game sort of styled execution. It's kind of fucked up, but it's that's how the story is. So I have the complete 3 volumes of the Ultra Despair Girls. I have the complete Danganronpa, another like Luck, Despair, or whatever series here. I have one Danganronpa, the animation, volume 1 here, and then I have Danganronpa 2, the full collection here as well. I'll go ahead and pull out one of each of the collections. So here's this one, Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. I have the full collection of this. Danganronpa 2, Ultimate Luck and Hope and Despair. I have the full collection of this series as well. And Danganronpa, the animation, I only have the first volume of this. And aside from that, I believe I have all the, aside from this series, I think I have all the other manga collections that there is. In English, I think. Alright, and this guy who's been staring at me all day right now, this is Chainsaw Man. I have the full collection of Chainsaw Man. I'm so happy. I just got volume 11 the other day. Chainsaw Man, if you don't know, is about this guy who is him. He lives in a world where there are demons, and there are devils, I believe they're called, and he started off really poor, and he was being worked as a demon hunter, or sorry, a devil hunter for very low pay and stuff like that. He had a little pet that was a chainsaw devil, and he, in a moment where he was almost killed, he morphed together with this devil chainsaw and became this chainsaw man. You don't see the other volumes here. I believe that's where Chainsaw Man Volume 1 is. I was giving that to someone else to borrow, so I don't have that with me right now, but I do have the full collection, and it's very, very good, very, very hyped up, and there's an anime coming up as well. Over in the back here, I have Mob Psycho 100 Volume 1. Have not read it, but I heard it was very good, so I'm excited to read it. And then behind that, we have High School of the Dead Volume 1. This is a very ecchi, it has an anime adaptation, zombie apocalypse survival story of some high schoolers who are just trying to find other people and survive. And then behind that, we have my only 2 volumes of Attack on Titan, which is volumes 1 and 2. And Attack on Titan is pretty well known, but if you don't know about Attack on Titan, it's just about a world where human race has been, I guess, killed by these huge ass titans. And there's these people who have to kill them, and you know, they're just finding out more about the titans, where they come from and stuff like that. And yeah, that was a really bad explanation, but it's good. It's action packed. It's very, very good. Okay, over here we have my only volume of Hunter x Hunter. This is volume 34, and I just got it because I love the cover of it. I have watched a lot of the anime. I have yet to finish it, but yes, I don't think I'm going to be collecting the manga anytime soon because it's a very long series and it's also on hiatus, but yeah, that is Hunter x Hunter volume 34. And if you don't know about Hunter x Hunter, Hunter x Hunter is about a kid, which you can't see here, but it's about these 2 kids who adventure out to go find one of the kids' fathers, and they want to become hunter. They have to achieve like hunter license to like go to certain areas, and it's just full of adventure and fun and a lot of weird characters and a lot of different like areas. It's really good. They have these like powers where they use like their auras. I forgot what it was called, but to like fight and become stronger. So yeah, good and very wholesome content. And yeah, so that's Hunter x Hunter in the best of my ability. Okay, in the back here I have Soul Eater 1. Yes, Soul Eater 1. Soul Eater is a very, it's one of the, no, actually it's the first anime I ever watched aside from Beyblade and stuff, but you know, the first anime, more adulty anime that I watched because it's a little more action packed and inappropriate. But Soul Eater, if you haven't heard about it yet, is about a world where there are weapons and meisters. There are people who can turn into weapons and people who can handle those, wield, I can't remember what's the correct word, but can handle those weapons. So they go to academy, and there's this where we have Maka. This character's name is Maka. She's a meister, and his name is Soul. He has a weapon that is a witch, and they have to kill all these like evil souls and collect them, so such as a witch, collect these evil souls to rank up their powers. And they have to, you know, kill all these villains, and so that's kind of the whole like very short premise of it. Very, very good. I watched the anime a couple times and it's so good. I love it. And yeah, I only have the first volume of it, and I haven't even read it because I'm not too big of a fan of the art style for the manga, to be honest. But right next to it we have the Promise Neverland volume 1. I just have the first volume, and I really would love to collect more of the volumes. The Promise Neverland is a psychological horror. No, it's a horror. It's a thriller horror about this orphanage of children who are on this like big land. They cannot leave the farm, the little like land area, or the orphanage. They can't leave that area, and once they get to a certain age, they are able to like not like graduate, but like leave, right? And so they're left but never heard of again. And turns out that they are just like a human farm of children for these demons who live outside of the orphanage to eat. I know this is a big plot twist if you haven't heard of The Promise Neverland, but it's very good, and they're just trying to escape that orphanage. Very, very good. First season was good. I heard the second season was ass. I'm kind of curious to see about the second season, so yeah. But that's The Promised Neverland Volume 1. Last stretch. Okay, speed run it. Rooster Fighter. Rooster Fighter is not out in English yet, for at least when I'm recording this, from what I've known. Rooster Fighter is about it's literally One Punch Man as a rooster. That's the best way I can describe this to you. It's comedic, it's action-packed, the characters are so funny, and it's literally he literally has to destroy these monsters, these like big-ass monsters. This is a volume in Spanish, by the way, but it's so good. I love it. I can really see this blowing up soon. Yeah, it's Rooster Fighter, action-packed, overpowered rooster who is just trying to find who killed his brother. So yeah, very funny. I love it. Next up we have Kaiju number 8. I have not read this yet. I just saw it and it looked really cool, and that's all I really have. I just have the first volume. I don't know anything about it, but that has to do with kaijus, which I think are just Japanese monsters, I think it's called. Here we have Spy Family, the wonderful, very hyped and well-deserved hyped Spy Family series. I have volumes 1 through 5, I believe. And Spy Family, if you don't know about it yet, it's about a spy who is put on a mission to create a fake family, and in order to get closer to this one guy who can maybe start a war. So he has to create a fake family, but he's been doing all these other serious missions, so to find a daughter and a wife and make them believe that he's actually trying to be a good husband or father while he's just trying to just be a good spy. It's very funny, it's comedic, it's incredibly wholesome. All the characters are so amazing. I have not found a single flaw in this series at all. The anime is chef's kiss, wonderful, so good. I absolutely love Spy Family, and it's perfect. It's great. I love it. Okay, and over here we have Vagabond, volumes 1 through 3. This is a more historical series that I purchased, and this is in Spanish. I decided to get this because it was really inexpensive for me when I went to go buy it in Mexico, and I'm really excited to get into it because it looks really good and the art looks absolutely amazing, and it's taken in a more like historical time period, I think. So this is definitely out of my comfort zone, but it looks cool and I love the covers. So yeah, that's Vagabond. I heard really good things about it too. Okay, over here on the back we have Haikyuu Volume 1. Haikyuu, if you don't know about it yet, this is a volleyball themed manga story. And that's all I really know much about. I tried to watch the anime, but I think it was just a wrong time. And I have this one. I got this for free at like a school or something. Here is my XXX Holic Omnibus. This has the first 3 volumes. Oh, she's chunky. It's literally that one single volume I showed earlier, but just more. And I've already explained the story about this, but yeah, this is my omnibus of XXX Holic. Coming close to the end of my collection, we have Parasite. I have volumes 1 through 7, I believe. I'm missing 8 and 9, or 7 and 8, I can't remember. I think I have volumes 1 through 6, and I'm missing 7 and 8. But Parasite has an anime adaptation, and it's really good. It's about a guy who gets this parasite alien inside of him, and it takes over his hand. And that parasite is actually trying to help save the human race because there are some evil aliens that are also parasites taking over other people in Japan or around the world, I believe. And it's really action-packed, it's really good, but also really depressing at times. And yeah, it's good. It's really good. a lot of alien and sci-fi sort of stuff, and I love aliens, and so this was a really good story, and it was a little comedic as well. So yeah, that's Parasite. Last but not least, we have Demon Slayer. This is the last volume in my collection. This is Demon Slayer Volume 1. I have not read it, nor have I seen the anime. I decided to pick it up because I saw that they were selling it at Target, which was new. They never sold anime or they never sold anime or like manga at my Target before, so it shocked me, and I decided to pick it up because I heard it's really good. So I got Demon Slayer, the first volume, and I really don't have much else to say. I don't really know what's it about, but yeah, that's the last volume in my collection. Alright, so we're back here. That ends my entire collection. I don't know how long that took, and this is gonna be a really, really long video. But if you did make it to this part of the video, thank you, and I'm kind of happy. But that was everything. I'll put the number of volumes I have somewhere here. And if you have any questions or anything about any volumes that I have or haven't read, or any recommendations, please let me know. I love recommendations, and I always love spending more money on more series. But yeah, without further ado, thanks for watching, and yeah, that is my up till 2022 June manga collection. Yeah.